evening, TheoTrade. This is Corey Rosenblum, and you're watching the Theo Nightly video for October 24, 2019. And we're talking earnings. Big earnings, specifically Amazon's earnings, Intel's earnings, and next week, Google's earnings. But we'll take a look at this, and I'll show you the logic of what I'm discussing here. And you may have some butterfly trades on, or closed some butterfly trades recently, or are looking to do so in the profit zone, or playing into new positions. And there's still earnings trades to be done. There's still butterflies to be had. So we'll just start today's update in terms of looking at, the first one's Amazon, really, but just for reference, Raytheon, Comcast, M, and Danaher, DHR. They had earnings before the bell. So if you're looking at this, just for cross-referencing, it is the days till earnings, and that's going to be 0 means it's before the market opens, and 0.5, the way the indicator is set up, means that it's, well, happening now or happening after the close. And we'll talk about some other stocks in the future. So these are done. These are happening. It's just going to be a matter of taking off positions or rolling or hedging or what needs to be done in Friday's or early next week's sessions, at least for these few names here. So the chart logic we have is the expected move, or the butterfly calculator from Don's class and sessions. So this is that indicator. It's the blue and the white. The white cone of probability is the probability of expiring 95%. Don't worry about that so much. It's right here, 95%. The other one is probably more important. It's the 68%, or the one standard deviation. And you may ask yourself, why is Amazon projecting the cone from the bottom of the expected move? That's because we're going to take a look at this chart, which is freezing the daily chart. But now we're going to pull in the after hours chart and try as best I can to see them both. So if you're looking at this, Amazon closed roughly at $17.77 per share, and then had an earnings expected move play either, and again, let's just kind of cross-check this real quick for the first example. In terms of the trade technique or trade analysis, we'll go out to the near term and get our probability actually here, which is a 72% implied volatility for a $70 up or down move. And Don calculates the at-the-money straddles and at-the-money information from that. So that's part of the calculation for the straddles. But again, simplicity's sake, roughly $70 up or $70 down. It went down. So not just 70, but a little bit beyond that move. So again, we're looking for, roughly speaking, $16.70 per share, $16.75 thereabout. And it's going to, at least, we'll see how it opens, because we're not there yet. This is immediately what we may call a flash chart or immediate chart after earnings are released. And I'm, for the video's sake, not going to go through the numbers, but in terms of expected or earnings per share, etc., we'll have that for Friday session. Just a quick overview and update that Amazon is pushing, at least for the moment, under the earnings expected move play and getting a bounce back. And that will change, that will rotate, that will push up and down, and may actually open Friday if you did take a bear butterfly or bear position. So anyway, that's the opening for Amazon immediately after earnings. That's a down move, but you can see it here. So Intel closed at about 52 per share. I guess technically closed at 52.23 per share. It had a 91% implied volatility for a $2.6 move up or down. And that will translate into Don's butterfly expected move calculator in terms of the indicator, roughly to about 56 per share, or about 48.76. You can see which one happened if you look closely, because right there, Intel is opening up, or at least at the moment, at this exact moment, trading down away from this upper expected move butterfly position. Here it is. So we're going to start the calculation from there. And actually, it's kind of cool because it hit that 56 level and then backed away from it right there. So that's what we'll be watching in Friday's session for Intel. In positions, if you had a bull butterfly on, that may be closed with a profit. We'll certainly see the overnight activity in the next couple of hours, and then pre-market functions as well. Just kind of a quick update on how these are working. Gilead Sciences, maybe not positioning into this one, but just to kind of keep the logic going. And again, this is a 5 for reference here, 5-minute chart, overnight sessions on. And the same indicator, they'll be different, so don't look at these, more so look over here. So that is their play, and that's going to push into 60, just above 69 and 62.50. So where is it opening? Roughly unchanged. That's Gilead Sciences. Capital One Financial, not a big mover, but it had the play. It's going to have some volatility, so I will sort of move on from there. Visa, you may have some flies on in Visa, and it had the expected move as it calculates. We'll go ahead and see what happened before the calculation takes place. There it is. So from 175 per share, I guess technically, from 176.16, that had an up or down play in terms of the straddle price and the front month straddles of roughly 184 and 168. Where are we opening Visa? 180. So that's not quite the level yet, not quite up to the projection play, but nonetheless is going to push a little bit higher on tomorrow's open. Now we get interesting. Now those have been done. Those are happened. Those are finished. And we'll be managing taking off positions, rolling or hedging or taking profits, etc. if you took positions into those stocks, and there were other stocks as well. But Verizon will be opening or reporting earnings tomorrow, and you can see its parameters. Roughly speaking, we'll see what Friday's session is, but right now it's about 63 on the upside and 58.50 on the downside. Charter is also reporting on tomorrow's session. This stock may not be your favorite stock to trade, although it has given some intraday trending candidate names, so it's just in the list as well. But AT&T will open and do its earnings on Monday. That's what the 2 means, Monday session. So again, uptrend. We can draw trend lines. This is what's helpful, in a sense, for me in terms of determining option positions into the future with our probability of expiring cone, which assumes there's an equal chance, and there is an equal chance of any share price being within one standard deviation band and the probability of expiring. This is a cone indicator. But if you draw trend lines, we'll have to update these. There's actually a little bit of a push, there it goes, a push into or a slight upper drift, which means there is a, well, again, in terms of the logic or the chart trend, if the trend continues, there's a slightly better edge or advantage for engaging positions at this upper end of the expected move, or maybe selling positions beneath it. This will be the big one, team. It's going to be Google. You can look at GOOG or the GOOGL, depending. We'll get rid of this most recent trend lines there. And we have Google into resistance. That's going to be, in terms of charting, roughly speaking, $12.50 per share. Thought process was that Google trades down away from it to keep this resistance in play, but that might change. So if you are trading this or are short or bearishly positioned, certainly take this opportunity before the earnings come out to make any type of alterations or changes to your position if you wish. If you don't want to hold in-out spreads, put spreads, or any type of bear vertical spreads right before an earnings announcement. And the way to think about that is, we can sort of expand the chart here. Google is reporting on after the close Monday, so coming up next week, but it has one more day, but just for simple mathematics, $12.50 per share, and an upper move or upper expected move via the indicator takes us to about 1325, or down to a little target level, which is 1200. And finally, cross-checking, we see this is where it gets interesting. 1 day option, 17% implied volatility, not a big deal, but the earnings will take place within the next cycle, next expiration, which means not tomorrow, not Friday. That's November 1st. There's your jump up in implied volatility, but even that's just 36%. But in a stock price like Google, that's going to take you $56 up or down. And that's what that indicator is, roughly speaking, referencing. Your front month and next month straddles are here priced for you via the indicator, via Don's class over the weekend, and the information from that. Of course, be safe, be careful.
And just looking into the future for next week, General Motors, MasterCard, ConocoPhillips, we have Pfizer, Merck, and the others, Merck & Company, and then Allstate, etc. But the big one is certainly, and Starbucks comes up later. But Amazon in play reported push down. Obviously, other stocks were in play this week, and others come into play next week. As always, be careful and safe. This is Corey Rosenblum with your Theo Nightly video for October 24th, 2019.